Welcome to MacBreak Studio. I'm your host, Brian Gary. And today, Mark Spencer joins me to talk motion. What else? AppleMotion.net, Ripple Training, that's where you can find all of Mark's stuff. But today, I asked Mark to show you guys a tip that he showed me to save my butt on SpeedFreaks. I had a project already laid out, everything was great, but the camera in my project was just a little bit too far away from the subject. And instead, I thought that I was looking at hours of going and adjusting every single keyframe. And Mark said, no, just do this. Take it away.
Great.
This is how you save me.
Simple little thing here is, excuse me, the camera, if you look in the heads-up display, I've got the camera selected in this project, and it has a bunch of controls for moving and rotating. And there's a strange thing here to scale the camera.
Right.
What does that mean, and why would you want to use it? And the situation described is exactly such a situation. And it works well for this project as well. I have one of our templates. You know, we have a bunch of templates that we sell at rippletraining.com. This is one of them. And there's a lot of camera movement here. There's a camera that kind of sweeps across this set, and then it flies down to another set, and from there it goes to somewhere else. And all the while it's turning in different places in space,
right.
Okay, and all over the place. In fact, if we go back and open up the keyframe editor, I'll just hit Command-A to go right there, we can see there's a bunch of keyframes
right.
to control the position and rotation of the camera. Now, if you just wanted to, let's say with this whole set, it looks great, but we'd like to be closer
right.
on every single piece of it. We just want to be closer. And you think, oh, okay, well, as long as I'm not parked on a keyframe, I can move the camera in Z-space, and that'll move everything up in Z-space. The problem is you don't necessarily want to be moved just in Z-space, right? Because it depends on where the camera's moving. So the scale thing can really help you here. You can adjust the scale to change the framing of the entire animation without affecting any of the keyframes. And one way to see how this works is if I go up to the top view, we can see our camera here, and if I drag on this scale in the heads-up display, you can see how the camera kind of looks like it's bigger or smaller.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to undo that and go back to the active camera view, Control-A. So now if I drag on that scale, we can see it's just going to change the framing, and I'm just going to drag a little bit to the left. And if you want to know what it means, it's hard to see what actually is happening here. F1 will bring you to the Properties tab of the inspector for the selected layer, which is the camera. You can see here we have a scale parameter, and I'm down to about 85% to get tighter. Right. So a lower scale actually brings the camera tighter into the shot. And you notice that it doesn't affect any of these keyframes at all, no impact to them. And if we go through the whole animation, every time we land on a set here, we are tighter in on that set.
So it's a relative change that it kind of ripples through everything.
A relative change to the entire animation. And that's great, but you can even keyframe that scale to change over time. There's no reason you just have to set it as once and forget it. You can set a keyframe and move forward, because you may have one set that needs to be a little tighter and another that needs to be a little looser. Sure. So you can just set a keyframe for each set for exactly the scaling you want. So you can kind of think of it as you've done your detailed camera animation, whether it's using behaviors or keyframes, and then over top of that, you just want to lay like an adjustment to everything without really affecting everything underneath, all that animation, but you just want to like tweak your framing a little bit of the whole thing. Right. And a great way is to use the scale parameter on the camera.
So if you're like me and you got the note from the client, I like it, but could we just be closer? And I went, oh no, all those hours of keyframing. Well, that trick right there saved me, because you saw how fast, right here, how we were able to do it.
That's it.
The camera and understanding how to use the camera is really important inside of Motion. You've got a new product out on rippletraining.com. Tell me about it.
Right. So you can actually use Motion for years without ever going to 3D at all. But if you get into 3D, 3D in Motion is deep. There's a lot of things you can do with it, especially with the camera. Right. So I've got a training that's specific to mastering Motion's camera. That's what it's called, rippletraining.com. We'll give you the details. If that's too far ahead, it's kind of an intermediate training. If you're just getting into Motion, look at Motion for Fast Forward, and that'll get you up to speed. Right. And then you can build on that from there.
And then your blog, tell us about that.
Oh, AppleMotion.net is just where I post anything that I hear around the net. Free tutorials, a list of all our MacBreak Studio episodes specific to Motion are on that site as well. So you can just go there and, you know, spend a lot of time catching up on Motion just on little 10-minute snippets.
Very nice. Mark, thank you for coming in.
You bet.
And thank you for watching MacBreak Studio. I'm your host, Brian Gary.